Tonight is all about video, and the stars collided, the heavens opened up, and Instagram video happened today on the same night that we're having Cher Ross, Video Rockstar, on. So you know this is going to be a good show. There's lots to talk about Instagram for video, how to use video effectively in your business, where video is going. So make sure that you stay tuned for the entire 30 minutes. Use the hashtag YFEchat. Share with your YFE friends. We're on Twitter and on the chat. Make sure you introduce yourself to your YFE peers, and I will see you on the flip side. All right, everyone, tonight's episode 68 of Young Female Entrepreneurs YFE Chat Live, the live stream that happens every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern here at YFElive.com. Tonight's sponsors, we've got a couple. Our first one is Ovaleye.tv. Ovaleye TV hosts and produces live video events built to meet your objective. Visit Ovaleye.tv to request a 30-minute consultation today to find out more about going live with your brand. And then, of course, our other sponsor who we're incredibly grateful for and also very excited about is MailChimp. So MailChimp actually just came out with a new version, which if you haven't used it already, I tweeted out earlier, it's like butter. It's awesome. It's so MailChimp, in case you don't know, it's the best way to design, send, and share email newsletters. You can get started today at MailChimp.com. So here you can see the example of the new dashboard and reports, and it's just so clean and beautiful. And if you've noticed, I saw that Dropbox did like a new update for its design. What's that term? UI, user interface. And everything is going white, tons of white space, very crisp, very clear, very like as least amount of clicks as you can get. So great little tips for us as business owners and how we build our websites and our online presence. So for everyone that is on live, thank you all so much for showing up. I really appreciate it. We've got some cocktail talk going on tonight. If you're on YFE Chat, you should know that my mother, Kathy K. Nelson, at Kathy K. Nelson, is on the YF Entrepreneur user tonight. So if you're tweeting my mom. Her name is Kathy. This is her. And so you can tweet her and say hi, and just forgive her for her slow tweeting. She's a show host too. We produce her show G Free and Happy, and so I do this for her show. She has to do it for mine at least once. So anyway, we're on YFE Chat. Make sure that you take an Instagram. And actually, for tonight, maybe you should wait until you hear from Cher Ross on how to do this properly. But you should take an Instagram video of what you're drinking. That would be totally awesome, right? I took my first Instagram video and it was super fun. So Cher Ross is a video rock star. She's literally a rock star, and she's going to be talking to us very soon about how to use video effectively in our business. If Instagram adopting video is not enough of a clue for you that this is something you need to be paying attention to, then I don't know what is, but I'm sure Cher Ross knows. So before we get into Cher and the video in our business, I wanted to go ahead and cover a couple things that's happened recently. So YFE Seattle, which is hashtag YFE SEA, they got together, and it's Tessa, and I included the usernames on the right-hand side of the sidebar. Tessa and Christina are our YFE city coordinators, and they're phenomenal. And so the city recap, just to let you guys know, a collection of chefs, bloggers, skincare specialists, photographers, event planners, and more were able to enjoy the atmosphere of their own kind. I love that they did at their own kind at the YFE Seattle meetup. And the gals heard from CEO of Liquid Planner, Liz Pierce, about how she learned how to get herself what she likes to call a startup MBA. Oh my gosh, this is perfect timing. I'm really excited about this. Yeah, the photos are on there too for it. So just to let you know, the Seattle City coordinators Tessa Rowe and Christina Craig plan in real-life meetups throughout the Seattle area, and you can check out more about it on youngfemaleentrepreneurs.com. We'll post the recap that they wrote about it. But a real big shout-out to Postmates, because they made this event happen alongside with Tessa and Christina, of course. They were one of the sponsors. If you haven't checked it out yet, Postmates app. And I'm going to totally butcher her name again. Ayako, I featured her on the YFE blog like a year ago. I met her in person once and I've talked to her on the phone a few times. She's the most positive, excited, like enthusiastic person to be around if you're a startup. So make sure you connect with her on Twitter, and hopefully someone will tweet in or chat in what her Twitter username is. But she's the rep for the Seattle area for Postmates. And I'm going to give you extra bonus points if you use Postmates now to order a bottle of wine or your dinner while you're watching that, because how cool is that? You can just use your app and open it up and order anything from around your city, if it's last minute dress, groceries, wine, etc. So definitely check that out. So big thank you. Her email, in case you have any questions or how to use Postmates, it's ayako@postmates.com, and I'll include that in the post live stream event notes. So a few other things. Yesterday we had a big live streaming event day. YFE NYC started in the morning with Marissa, and her guest was Selena Sue. Make sure that you check Marissa out if you haven't yet. She's at Marissa Vicario and moaonline.com. Selena was awesome. She talked about networking as an introvert, and we have the replay up on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/YF Entrepreneur. So it's really, really cool. And then YFE Vegas Tech, they did one at 4 o'clock with Jacqueline Jensen. You guys know her because she's been on YFE Chat before for Ticket Cake. They're involved with Tony Hsieh's Downtown Las Vegas project, her and her guest, who is from Tracky.com. They talked about productivity. Again, the replays are up on youtube.com/YF Entrepreneur. And finally, super grateful for YEC, Young Entrepreneur Council. They have a Startup Lab event that happens on their own Facebook application, but we've partnered with them to bring some of YEC's exclusive members onto YFE Live. And so yesterday, Amanda Aitken of the Girls Guide to Web Design appeared and spoke for an hour, just taking in your questions and answering them live. And we have, we'll post that update over on youngfemaleentrepreneurs.com. So bottom line, a lot of really cool things happened yesterday. Hopefully you're able to show up. So another thing that YFE does is a Bootstrap book club. And this is a free book club to do. It's online. It's on our Facebook group, Bootstrap Book Club. And you can go there. I think the link is yfe.me/bootstrap books. I don't know. You can do a search on Facebook for it. And so we're almost to 300 members on there, and we were deciding what book to do. And Jules and Christina founded this club, and they just handed it over to YFE recently. And this is the first book that YFE is choosing. And this was a lot harder than I thought it would be. At first, I was like, oh my gosh, I love books. I Audible, hard copy, however you're going to consume them. I love them. I will eat them up. So choosing like one book for us to read was really, really hard. And so I talked to a lot of people about what it is that they wanted to hear. And so it was between Madam Secretary, which I've read, and oh my goodness, it's the former Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright. And I mean, there's things in here that she talks about that pertains to everyone. It's basically a biography. She got a divorce. Did you guys know that? She was married to a Nobel, he was up for a Nobel Peace Prize, and he basically said, I'll stay with you if I win this, and if I don't, then I'm going to leave you. Well, he didn't get it, and he left her. It's like just an incredible story all the way around. The other book was Like a Virgin by Richard Branson. Anything by Richard Branson is going to be fantastic. I haven't read that yet. Think and Grow Rich, I've read probably 10 times, and it's important that you use this workbook one and not the original version. And then The Personal MBA, which I'm in the middle of right now, and it's really fantastic. So after talking to everyone, taking in everyone's opinions, and really looking at what YFE is and what Bootstrap Book Club is, our next book is The Personal MBA. Why? Because this is all about bootstrapping, right? We are business owners that don't have the capital to start things. We're funding our businesses through sales, right? So in the same idea, not a whole lot of us have $60,000 to lay down to go back to grad school, right? But we still need that knowledge, the business language, to go and make sure that if at some point we do need funding, or we have this awesome idea because it was sparked by something that you heard or you read, that you have the business acumen to go forward and say, speak confidently about what it is. You can forecast, you can budget, you can do all sorts of fun stuff and know what it is that you're talking about. So the personal MBA, highly recommend it. If you go to audible.com/Ovali, you can download the Audible version for free. And so the personal MBA, really fantastic book. That's what we're going to be reading. We're not going to start for another week or so. And if you're interested in being a host for the Bootstrap Book Club, there's going to be a live stream portion of it too. So it's great exposure for your business, and it's great exposure in a group of 300 young female entrepreneurs. So contact me at J, the letter J, youngfemaleentrepreneurs.com, and we can talk about you hosting Bootstrap Book Club for the personal MBA. So next week, I'm about to, if you're just watching live now that I've talked for 10 minutes straight, Cher Ross is falling asleep probably. But next week, Jennifer Murray, who is the founder of Cann Labs, which is CANN labs.com. If you're wondering what that stands for, it stands for cannabis. She's going to be talking to us about the pot industry next week. She was just featured in Entrepreneur Magazine, and she was she served on the governor's task force in Colorado for the implementation of Amendment 64, advising the task force on cannabis testing, labeling, and health and safety issues. So she's going to be talking about that industry, just something to get us thinking a little bit differently. So, Cher Ross, I announced that we have her on over the weekend, and I immediately started getting emails from young female entrepreneurs saying, "Oh my gosh, I love her. I love Cher. I love Video Rockstar University. I love her videos." So I was really, really excited to bring her on. I followed her for some time too. And so she's going to be talking to us about video, just so you guys get an idea of what it is that she does. Let me see if I can find that video with our producer. There's a snapshot of her video. It's in level 2. Hi everyone that's on the chat. We're pulling up her video. No, it's probably in level 4 then, or 3.
So wrap it up.
No, it's the one far on the yeah.
Okay. Want to play that?
Yep, this one.
When I have more time, I'll get that whole video thing together for my business. When I lose 10 pounds, I'll start shooting my videos. When I can afford a professional crew, that's when I'll do my videos. Does any of that sound like you? We women are so hard on ourselves. You want to look good on camera because, after all, this is your business we're talking about. You want to be authentic and not that nervous person that suddenly appears from nowhere as soon as you press record. You want your real rock star personality to shine through in your videos so your clients know what you're really like and will trust you. Maybe you've even tried shooting some videos, but you hated the results. So instead, you do nothing. When I have more time,
So it's time. Woo, that is a really close-up angle of me. It's time to welcome on Cher Ross of Video Rockstar University. Cher, thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm so happy to be here and to talk to the wonderful young female entrepreneurs. Thank you again.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being on. So when I said earlier that you were literally a rock star, you were literally a rock star. So how did you go from doing being a rock star into training people how to use video effectively?
It was a little bit of a long journey, and I'm going to shorten it real fast for you. There was a period of time where I got into producing and editing video in Los Angeles, where I lived back then. And I had a lot of clients like Sony and Geffen and Universal and people like that. And my husband and I had a video production company. We did a lot of filming, a lot of editing, all that stuff. And then eventually it sort of branched out, and there were businesses that wanted us to work with them to help them get their stuff online. And what would happen would be I would end up coaching the person that was going to go on camera. And the coaching process would end up taking anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. And so I realized there was a definite need for this. And then, from there, fast forward into learning about B-School and all these other, wonderful online businesses. And it became really evident that the thing people were asking me about a lot was video and how to get comfortable on video. And that's what happened.
Well, one of the reasons why I was excited about, because there's a number of people out there doing video right now and teaching people how to do video well. But I liked the idea that you were in the music industry to begin with, because my family. So we're a family business, and we've created a nice studio, and we've gotten really into video. But my parents started off as managers to a band, a rock band. And
No
so,
way!
yeah, it's very similar starting points. And I think that people that were in, especially music industry, are very passionate about the sound quality, which a lot of
Yes.
people don't really realize with video is that making sure that things are mixed well, that you understand that type of thing. And when you're in a band, you look around all this equipment and you make sure that all that stuff sounds great. So with that perspective, I mean, with your perspective on video, I was very excited to bring into the mix. So why on earth do you think, since you've been in video for so long, doing this for other businesses, why do you think today video is so important, compared to 10 years ago, compared to even yesterday before Instagram got on? Why do we need to incorporate video?
Well, first of all, YouTube didn't even start until 2005. So 10 years ago, there was no YouTube, which is hard to even, I know, it's amazing. And now YouTube is the #2 search engine. So it's not just about video, it's how people can find you. And I think basically video allows us to get to know you without actually meeting you in person. So it's a little bit like getting to, shake your hand in a cyber digital sort of way. So you can be meeting somebody while you're sleeping and they're in Tokyo and they're watching your video for the very first time. And to me, that's what marketing is all about. It's about that emotion. It's about making that connection. And it's become so important because as just our society, we're spending so much time online. So people there was just a news clip the other day that came out. The Chicago Sun-Times just laid off all of their professional photographers, including a Pulitzer Prize winner. Speaking of Pulitzer Prize winners, they laid them all off to spend more of that money on online video. And there's just, every day there's all these numbers coming out. Online video is more effective than television. It's more effective than blog links, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, the simple fact is all you have to do is look at your own behavior. When you go to somebody's website and there's a video there, you click on it.
It's so true. You do. You always click on it.
Right.
Well, I think it's interesting that you brought up the point about the photographers being dropped. We had Tout, I don't know if you're familiar with Tout.com. We had their CMO on not that long ago, and he was talking about how Tout was being adopted by journalists. So these different large media publications were equipping, instead of having an international journalist out, they powered the journalists with their iPhone and Tout, and they just showed exactly what's happening on video in real time. And that was another way for us to consume information. So I think a lot of the points that you said are incredibly valid, and well, obviously very valid. But going forward with, in terms of how we use it in our businesses, I think you brought up an interesting point about getting to know us. So I feel like in the past, video has been all about really produced videos that are, quick shots from a product to the person, and it's dramatic and there's some kind of inspiring music happening. Do you think that that's something that we have to incorporate in our business, something that's more professional, or can something like vlogging? We had Chris Pirillo on, who is a huge YouTube vlogger. Should we incorporate more vlogging or more produced? What does that look like now?
I think it's definitely a mix. There's definitely a place for the well-produced professional videos. And then there's also a place for what I call the DIY video. Like I'm going to sit at my computer, I'm going to use my phone, I'm going to do something really fast that's in real time. It's reality. This is my life. This is what's going on. And the well-produced ones are great for what I call like sticky videos. Like say you have something that you want to be permanent on your website, or it's for, for training purposes, or it's for a launch. Things like that, you might want to go with a professional. You don't have to, but you might want to. The thing is, when you go to a professional studio to be filmed, the whole process is going to be so much better if you've been filming yourself doing all the DIY videos. And the DIY ones are great for either in addition to or replacing your blog posts, in other words, the vlogging thing. And what I like to do with them, and what I see a lot of other entrepreneurs having success with, is giving out little pieces of information. And you just go, okay, you know what? I'm going to address this little thing, and I'm going to make a video about it, and so you're always giving out information, and it makes a connection. You're talking one-on-one to a person, even though it doesn't feel like it, you actually are, because one person is watching you on the other end. and hopefully that one person translates into, thousands and hundreds of thousands. But the whole thing between the DIY video and the big fancy video, they both have a place, but the fancy ones, you're going to do so much better if you've been doing the DIY ones for a long time.
Okay, well, let's talk about DIY, especially with the Instagram video. That is what everyone wants to know about. Now,
I know, right?
I was just telling Sharon, and look at, we're talking about video and, appearances, and this is what I look like. But, whatever. So,
it's all good.
We opened up Instagram. My mom, who's tweeting from @YF Entrepreneur, if you guys are just showing up live, we're on with Cher. It's @Cher Ross on her Twitter if you guys want to tweet out her quotables. Now, so the thing that we did was we opened up Instagram and we were going through it and looking at things, watching videos. And these are people we've only followed in picture. So it's staged, it's, at the right angle,
Right.
They add the filters on, and now you hear their voice, you see their reactions, and you have this immediate judgment of who that person is. And now if you're a business owner, that can be very scary. So
it's terrifying.
So what's your best advice for someone that's picking up their phone, DIYing it, and that it could even be like a 15-second communication type of a form?
Yeah, and I also want to touch on the fact that Instagram is sort of competing with Vine, which is Twitter's video app, and Vine is only 6.5 seconds, and Instagram is giving you 15. And Instagram is also allowing you to use filters on your video, so you can do some pretty cool things. I haven't had time to play with it because it just came out, but I know that that's going to be a whole different thing. In 15 seconds, that's enough time to actually communicate a pretty decent message. So the whole Instagram thing is great. Now, getting back to your question, a couple things to just sort of think about is, in terms of, how are you going to come across as a business owner? And I think this is valid, whether it's Instagram or it's, it's you talking to a computer. You want to sort of treat it like you're going to lunch with an old friend. You're not getting all, ready to go on your first date, but you are presenting yourself, and people are going to feel like, oh, that's what you're really like. Okay. Some other really good tips are really getting used to actually looking at the camera lens. Something I see a lot of newbies do when they're filming, especially for something like Instagram, which is going to be on your phone, is there's a tendency to look at yourself and not at that little tiny dot.
You can always tell, too, when people are looking at themselves. It's always awkward. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you always feel like their eyes are not quite looking right at you. It's really weird, and I always liken it to, if you're at a networking event and somebody's looking over your shoulder, you feel pretty uncomfortable. So it's the same thing with the camera lens. You really need to look into the lens. And a trick for that is to feel like the lens is actually giving you the energy. If you can imagine that there's energy coming from the lens towards you, it will help you to come across better on camera.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because one of the things that I noticed with Instagram is kind of like what Tout does, is that you can just pick up your phone vertically and record it, and it comes into a square, not like a 16:9 type of a format, but it's a square video. And so it's teaching people to go like this with a vertical phone and record videos. Now, I loved one of the videos that you talked about where you get on YouTube and you see people with the vertical phones doing it that way. So if you're going to use your phone, what are your recommendations or your top tips for using your phone to DIY?
Okay, and this is important actually, because I think using your phone makes it so easy. So yes, Instagram is going to teach you to hold it, the wrong way. But if you want to use your phone for real, first thing to do would be to get a little tripod. There's a $20 one called the Slingshot. You can get that at PhotoJojo. It's a website, photojojo.com, and it holds, I think, pretty much every smartphone out there.
I love that tip, because that's another awkward thing along with looking at yourself is the posed and holding the phone out in front of you. That's a great tip. Sorry, I interrupted you. Keep going.
No, that's totally fine. The tripod is super amazing, and you can take it apart, and set it up like a little tiny mini tripod, or you can take the top off and screw it onto a proper tripod to get it at the height that you want. You do want to position it so it looks like you're actually looking at the lens and not looking down and not looking up, which gives you a whole different energy as well.
So true.
Yes, I'm sure you know that because you're doing this all the time. Another thing, and this varies depending on your phone, but if you can get a mic, there's a really simple solution for that with the iPhone. It's the Audio-Technica ATR 3350. It's like a $20 wired lav mic. It's the Audio-Technica ATR 3350. It's $20 or thereabouts. But you do need to get an adapter, because in any phone, whether it's the iPhone or an Android, the phone jack, the headset jack is also for your headset and your mic. So you have to have an adapter to make that work with just a mic. And
there are so many cool little pieces of hardware too that you can add to the phone, so that it's realistic to have, you know, a $500 phone work as a video camera. I mean, it costs $500. Why wouldn't you use it like that anyway?
If you want to jack up your phone and make it into like an insane piece of equipment, go to PhotoJojo. They've got lenses, they've got dollies, they've got lights. You can get everything for your iPhone to make it into like a movie camera. I'm not kidding.
Pimp out your phone. Like, what's that? Pimp your ride, pimp your phone.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
That should be a new YFE show. Who wants to host Pimp Your Phone?
I love it.
So I'm going to interrupt you for a second, Cher. So you guys that are watching live, can I go to this camera? You have 5 seconds to call in live with questions, because I've totally just hogged up all of the time. But if you have a question for video or about video that you want to ask Cher, call in to 1-877-415-4YFE. It's on the screen right now. It's 877-415-4933. Or 4YFE. There's an operator that's waiting to take your phone call. You have just a few seconds to call in and ask her that video question. We want to take one of your calls, so make sure you call in. And of course, you can give a shout out about your business at the same time. So Cher, now before we end, I want to make sure we get to video editing, because we talked about all the different angles and things like that. But on your website, your editing is beautiful, right? It's very simple, yet the shots come in, they come out for emphasis. If I don't have Final Cut Pro or something like that, or I don't even know how to edit a video, what's your best advice for me?
2 things. First of all, you can shoot a video, and if all you need to do is clip the beginning and the end so we don't see you turning either the camera or the computer, record button on and off, you can actually do that in YouTube. Don't even need to learn anything. If that's all that you need to clip out, you can do it in YouTube. If you want to learn editing, whether it's iMovie or it's Windows Movie Maker, I use both iMovie and then I use Final Cut Pro as well. You can learn that at lynda.com, Lynda. And I think that's like $25 a month. And, you could probably learn everything you need to know in a month. And it's amazing. Their tutorials are amazing.
Okay, and then Cher, Alyssa Gilmer is asking, Audio-Technica, what? What were you talking about with that?
It works with an iPhone, but you do need to get an adapter. The mic itself is ATR 3350, and the website for the adapter is KV Connection, K as in the letter K and V as in the letter V for Victor, connection.com. I think the adapter is about $23. And if they can't find the adapter, I can send you the link, Jennifer, and then you can, post it out to everybody.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. So since we're running out of time, Cher, as far as Video Rockstar University goes, what do you teach women to do there? I mean, we've all watched your videos, at least without the audio, and we see what you do on YouTube. But what do you do that sets it apart from the YouTube version to the actual paid for, you enter into the university type of a format? And that's starting again in July, correct?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
The first class is July 29th. And the difference is we get really in-depth with how to deliver your message effectively so that you really connect with your clients and you really engage with them. And I do go into some technical aspects. We do get into lighting. It's sort of like just sort of working with everybody to make sure that you have whatever you can get to make it work for you with where you're at. I'm not a big proponent in Video Rockstar University of saying, you need to spend $2,000. That's not what it's about. It's about starting with where you're at. And then the other part of that is all of the homework is in the form of video. So as everybody's uploading videos to a private Facebook group, they're getting to practice, they're getting to see everybody else's video, and then I leave pretty extensive feedback on everybody's videos. So everybody's learning from the feedback as well. So there's like a huge learning curve that just gets covered really quickly. It's 4 weeks, and by the time you graduate, you are like ready. You are done. You're good to go.
Well, you know what I like about you and your programs is that it's not necessarily about like the tricks to getting found. It's about creating quality content that looks good, sounds good, that keeps people engaged, like you said, makes someone feel something, connect with you. And I think that's more important now than getting found because of things like Instagram and Tout and all those other video applications that are out there, where it's not necessarily about tricking the title or the meta tags or anything like that. It's about just creating stuff that people want to watch. So I really appreciate you being on, Cher. I apologize that we ran out of time to go over more questions because there's a lot of other things that I could ask you, but where can people find, I mean, you've got all this stuff out online, you guys. All the ladies that are watching tonight, the things that we didn't get to, it's all on her YouTube channel. So Cher, where can we go to find out more about you and Video Rockstar University?
Sure. And, feel free, anybody, to tweet me any questions, and I will do my best to answer them. I'm at Cher Ross. The best way to find me is either on Twitter or on Facebook, just Cher Ross as well on Facebook. VideoRockstarUniversity.com. If you sign up for that, you will get all of my YouTube videos and all that good stuff. And you'll get the free training that's on the website too. So any way that you want to reach out to me is fine. You can send a tweet, you can Facebook me, hit an email, whatever. It's all good. Share at SherRoss.com. I will respond to every question.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Cher. I really appreciate you being on. Tessa Rose, at Tessa Lee Rose, saying that the homework is all through video. That's awesome. I agree. That is awesome. It's, what's that term, dog fooding it?
I don't know that term. I just called learn by doing is what I think of. Dog fooding it. Yeah. I like it.
So Cher, thank you so much for being on. We'll make sure that we include all of the notes that you talked about, the links, etc., into the video for everyone that was watching in case you didn't catch it. So we'll make sure that you tweet her. Check out Video Rockstar University. Thank you again, Cher, for being on tonight.
Thank you.
All right, so we were just watching Cher Ross of Video Rockstar University. How awesome was she? And she was, talk about tonight. This is my problem here with Ovalite and my sales pitch, is that when I get excited about something, I start talking a mile a minute. So I apologize if things were too fast. But this video is such a, it's going to be such an important part of our businesses today and a week from now and a year from now. And I feel like as young female entrepreneurs, we're at a very good point or a very good place because we have all of this technology. We're used to it. We've grown up with it. We understand. We watch television we watch Hulu on our computer. It's not like we have to understand why it's there. It's just a matter of, like Cher said in her video, getting past the point of not having makeup on or being scared or, not having enough time to do it and actually just sitting down and doing it. So lots of gratitude for Cher for being on tonight. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you tweet your questions, that you check out the show notes tomorrow, and that you join Bootstrap Book Club on Facebook. Just do a search for it. I'll include a link on the show notes too, and for how you can join. So maybe we can pop up above 300. Again, we're reading The Personal MBA. Next Thursday is Jennifer Murray's appearance of CanLabs.com. Again, she was featured in Entrepreneur Magazine talking about the different hurdles that the cannabis industry is going to have to be going through. Whether or not you're in the industry, hate the industry, whatever, it's still going to be something that is going to hopefully spark some interest or spark our minds to think creatively or differently about something. So everyone, thank you so much for showing up live. I'm going to stick around for the next 10 minutes or so on Twitter and answer all of your tweets. Big thank you to my mother, Kathy K. Nelson, at Kathy K. Nelson, for tweeting at YF Entrepreneur. Hopefully you're all following us over on Twitter. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/YF Entrepreneur, and on iTunes, if you do a search for Young Female Entrepreneurs, we'll be there. This has been Jennifer Dono with Young Female Entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for showing up. I hope to see you next Thursday at same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern at YFElive.com.